Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Madden, your lead commentator for this evening, and welcome to Austin, Texas for Week 4, Season 10 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Mega Grid Series. And I'm delighted to have back alongside me in the commentary box today my legendary co-commentator Rob Barker. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Sean, and good evening, everybody. Welcome in.
So today, for the very first time, we are introducing a mega grid of drivers featuring the pros and the AMs together on one circuit, which promises to be an enthralling race here at the Circuit of the Americas. Rob, can you give us all the info and details on tonight's race, please?
Well, indeed. So practice, the 60-minute practice session is just coming into the last sort of 5 minutes qualification. Qualifying will start at 8 p.m. UK time, a 15-minute qualifying session, with race 1 being a 20-minute sprint race that will start at 20 past the hour, and the feature race will start at 8:45 UK time. Mandatory pit stops are not required. Fueling is allowed, but not mandatory. And there is no mandatory tyre change. 40 points for the victor, and points will be awarded all the way down to P30, Sean.
Right, okay. Thank you, Rob. So, before we get into the races and everything else, we need to have a look at the driver standings. Now, because we are showcasing the pros and the AMs, we'll show you the top 10 drivers of each category. So, in the pros, we have Vortel, who is leading the way on 240 points. He's racked up 4 race wins in a row. He's got a massive margin ahead of Jay Wazza in P2 with 167 points. Then we got Nikola Busov in 3rd position with 159 points. Then we got Pedro Silva in P4 with 150 points. Then Kobe Alerts in P5 on 147 points, with Dan Naisbitt in P6 with 142 points. Then we've got Matteo Di Stefano in P7 with 128 points. Francisco Souza in P8 with 126 points, actually joint with Robbo Fernker on the same points there in P8 and 9 respectively. Then rounding up the top 10, we've got Melvin Crows on 100. We've got 3 drivers on 126 points, tying for 8th position. Then we've got Luke Prentice in P11 on 106 points. Rob, can you lead us on to the amateurs, please?
Yeah, so taking the top spot for the amateurs is Bruno Olmach in the McLaren with 181 points. He has quite a commanding lead over Sven in P2. Stuart Robertson takes up P3 in the standings. Jonas Braun in the Ferrari, German driver in P4. Abdelaziz in P5. We have Louis Descartes, who is in the race tonight as well. He's in P6. Rick Denbrave in P7. Liam O'Neill in P8. Chris Gedman in P9, and Jamie Rees rounding up the top 10. We do have a notable mention. Dylan Vlotten has only competed 1 race, but did pick up a win and a P2 podium in the last race. So I want to watch if he's racing tonight.
Fantastic, Rob. So Rob, can you tell us a little bit about the Cota or Circuit of the Americas, all the facts and figures that we need to know, please?
Yeah, sure. So Circuit of the Americas, otherwise known as, and probably more popularly known as Cota, is a renowned motorsport and entertainment complex located in Austin, Texas, United States of America. It's one of the most modern and diverse circuits in the world. The circuit was officially inaugurated in 2012 and hosted its very first event on that day, which was, of course, the Formula One United States Grand Prix. The circuit stretches over 3.4 miles, 5.4 kilometres, and features 20 corners, 11 to the left, 9 to the right, providing an exciting and challenging racing experience for the drivers and, of course, all of the spectators.
Fantastic. Guys, I've actually spent countless hours trying to put together a competitive lap time together around this tricky and very technical circuit at Cota. Believe me, I was tearing my hair out trying to keep the car on the circuit without cutting track limits, of course. But eventually I got into my rhythm and started to find my feet. And now I'm pretty confident that this guide will help you out, or help others out that may be struggling. So introducing the McLaren 720S Evo. Please enjoy this lap at Cota. So starting off this track guide on the straight as we come across the start finish line, we lead up the hill to turn 1, very tricky hairpin to encounter. We're looking for the 100 board for our braking marker, and we want to be braking in a straight line down into first gear, then swinging it over to the left over the curb. You want to be cruising it in, no brake or acceleration. As soon as the corner opens up, then floor it on the exit, and it is full throttle around this right hand kink up to 4th gear. This first turn is actually flat. We're going through the S's for turns 3 and 9, and very minimal inputs you want to be putting in as you go left to right, back over to the left, little dab of the brake down to 3rd, and then you want to keep the car over to the right hand side. Try and get as close to the apex as possible, because that will set you up for the next left hander, where you're going to be lifting off slightly as you turn in over the curb, and then smoothly does it on the throttle on the exit. Then we brake down into 2nd gear. Again, we want to be hugging the apex on the left hand side, because that will set you up for the following left hand turn over the curb. Smoothly does it over with the acceleration, because the car will get a bit squirrely out of there, round the left kink there, and then we are braking for the hairpin 2 at the 100 meter board. Again, same rule applies here. Brake in a straight line down into first gear, turn the car in over the curb, and there's no acceleration or braking needed. Just coast it in, and then as we exit the corner, then full throttle, and very long straights at that. We're going to be hitting speeds of around 160 miles an hour before we get into this heavy braking zone. We are looking for the red hut on the right hand side, or the 150 board. We're actually braking just after that, but in real time it's quite difficult to see. So hard on the brakes, down into first gear again, brake in a straight line, of course, then swing the car over to the left hand side, coast it in, and as soon as you're able to do so, get on the throttle as we approach the U-bends for turn 13, 14 and 15. So we're looking for the end of that grass verge on the right hand side, down into first gear. You need to be quite cautious on the throttle as you go through these bends here, to be as smooth as possible. Try and get the car over to the right hand side as early as possible, and then as we approach the left hander, this left hand kink here is your braking marker, and brake in a straight line down into first gear, and then over the curb on the left hand side, and try not to go too wide on the exit, because that will be track limits. So through these right-handers, you want to be balancing the throttle in 3rd gear on this 3rd right-hander. Then it's full throttle out of the exit. And then for turn 19, anywhere between the 2 arrows is your braking mark. And you want to turn the car in early over the curb. You can go a little bit wider out of this exit, and then for the final corner at turn 20, that concrete patch on the right hand side is your braking marker, down into 2nd, hit the apex on the left hand side, and then get a good exit out of the corner, and that is a lap guide around the circuit of the Americas. We hit a lap time of around 2 minutes 08.1. I was pretty happy with that lap time, I have to say, considering we only learnt the track I think it was about a couple of days ago. It took me a good day to learn it. I was very, very happy with that lap though. So going on to the race then, guys, they have just kicked off qualifying. There is 18 minutes to go. So yeah, Rob, can you take us through the field, please?
Yeah, just I think we've got a slightly extended qualifying session as we are normally used to on this event. Obviously, being the pros and the AMs on the field, I feel they have opted to extend qualifying by just a couple of minutes. And yeah, no one's setting a lap yet. We got a couple of 206s in the towards the end of practice. Absolutely astonishing lap from Townsend in the 420 BMW. I think it was a 206.5. So the leaderboards, they are on their outlap right now. Dan Naisbitt is leading the pack and about to start his first qualifying lap.
Okay. Yep, that is correct. So Dan Naisbitt is the first one to come across the line to start a fresh lap. So in that Lamborghini Huracan going through turn 2 and 3.
Oh, I do apologise, Sean. It's the 174 that is first over the line. Dan is currently sat just behind.
Oh, Mikowski, isn't it? Yes, right, okay, so Mikowski in the McLaren 174 car then. So, yeah, just going through the S's, the right-hand turn, back over to the left-hand turn with the left-hand kink. And then, yeah, big braking zone for the hairpin, just before the long straight, of course. I'll be very interested to see, Rob, what sort of lap times these guys produce. It's a very hot track, I have to say, Rob. 39 degrees ambient, 48 degrees on track.
Yeah, they are. I think they are in the midst of a heat wave in that part of the world, and obviously we are using AccuWeather, so it is absolutely roasting out there today.
Indeed, yeah, way too hot for me. You know, I think even too hot for me in, you know, shorts and t-shirt, Rob. I mean, yeah, not a pretty sight, to be honest, Rob. But yeah, we are in Austin, Texas, very hot part of the world, of course. It'll be interesting to see sort of how their tyres get on, how quickly the tyres do melt. So the drivers will have to be pretty careful on the tyres not to scrape them too much, as they do need to get them to last 20 minutes for this first sprint race. Just coming around the final corner then, Mikowski, he will set a lap time of a 2:09 with Naisbitt 2:08.8. Then who else have we got coming across the line? Vortel and Busov come across the line as well. 2:08.1, 2:08.3 for Busov, and then Law comes across the line in pole position, 2:08 flat. That is a great lap time.
Yeah, some astonishing laps now. I do believe the order of this qualifying session is the GRR. The pros will go out first. The AMs will go out second, so I don't know when that cut-off point is exactly, but the AMs are currently all lined up in the pit. So it's the pros on track at the minute, with Law setting the early pace as we see Molnick's crossing the line. 2 seconds off the pace there, and just a couple more to set their opening laps up in the pro category.
Yep, just riding on board with Crows. Crows gets a 2:08.7, so up into P5, and these Stefano as well, a 2:08.5 as well for him. So some good early lap times from the top 5 drivers. And yeah, we're waiting for Kobe actually. Kobe, I'm expecting to be up there, so we'll see how Kobe gets on. He is just coming down the long straight there, so he's got about a minute to go, probably a bit less than a minute to go until he sets his lap time. But yeah, expecting big things from Kobe. We'll be seeing how he performs on track in that Ferrari. Sorry, Rob.
Does look like there is action in the pit lane. I'm not sure whether that is the AMS. I know Wazza has gone into Jay Wazza has gone into either get a set of tyres or just to restart his qualifying session. So no movement from the AMs yet, and expect to see those guys leaving. I'm going to predict on the 10-minute mark.
Just to reiterate as well, Silver actually on pole position now, 2:07.9. Just awaiting Kobe to come across the start-finish line to see what time he can produce. Kobe gets a P12, so 1.3 seconds down on the current pole position time, so that is a 2:09.2.
Yeah, good first lap from Kobe there. A little bit of time to get amongst the top runners, but very close up top. Currently only less than a tenth of a second between the top three, and less than a second all the way back to the top 10.
Indeed, Rob, indeed. This is going to be a very interesting battle as you see Stefano go onto pole position then, 2:07.887. So that is the fastest lap time of the session so far. So yeah, there is 1/10 separating the top three. Law is just over a tenth behind as well, so a very close qualifying at this stage. And Busov P5 just over 2/10 slower in P5.
It's all very close. I've just noticed Bellarmine and was yet to set a lap in the pro category. And it does look like some of the AMs have started to make a move also.
Yep, just on board with Bellarmine now. So can he produce a lap time and get a bit further up the field? Let's have a look. Bellarmine, sorry, that was Wazza I was on board with, but neither put in a lap time. I think that must have been an out lap from the two drivers then. So the number 2 and the number 32 car. So both currently P30 and 31. I'm sure. Oh, hold on. Oh, I was on the wrong person. Maybe he was on an outlet. Maybe he cut track limits. It's very easy to cut track limits on this circuit, by the way, guys. If you just cross the white line, the track will give you a penalty for that. Yeah, you have to be very careful around here, and with a 20-minute sprint and a 40-minute sprint, I kind of sense that there might be a few penalties being dished out. So as I said, drivers do need to be careful, Rob.
Yeah, it's very easy, very easy to pick up a penalty on this circuit. As we see, Vortel improves his time, and Stefano improves his time in P1, and there we go. So Townsend, first lap for him, pops him into P2.
Phenomenal lap time there. 2:07.755 then for Townsend in P2. So yeah, this qualifying session is really heating up, even though it is scorching hot here at Austin, Texas. But yeah, really close times between the drivers right now. Who else have we got in the moment? We're still waiting for Bellarmine and Wazza to put in a lap time. There is 9 minutes to go. I'm not sure how this works, Rob. Whether there is another qualifying session for the amateurs. Or no, there is amateurs on circuit, isn't there? So there is 9 minutes left on qualifying then. So the amateurs are out on circuit. I was getting a little bit confused because there were a few amateurs that were still stuck in the pits. But yeah.
So Wazza's popped himself into P15 with his run as Bellarmine now making his way around the last corner and drives straight into the pit wall. I imagine that wasn't the plan.
I was just struggling to find him. So yeah, no, I'm sure that wasn't the plan for Bellarmine. So yeah, doesn't set a lap time. I think the only driver not to set a lap time actually in the pro category. So this is kind of unknown territory for me and you, Rob, in terms of spectating the amateurs. So have literally no idea who to really focus on here. I guess we will find out in the next 8 minutes. But But yeah, as alluded to earlier on, guys, so the pros and the amateurs are put together for the very first time in FRL, or on the PS5, that is. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this race does develop. Obviously going to be a lot of traffic throughout this circuit. So hopefully, it is a wide circuit, so you would like to think that the drivers will still get on with their jobs and there won't be incidents, but we'll see.
Yeah, some of the drivers' names I do kind of recognise a couple of them from the the FRL Mega Grid event that happened recently. Jonas Braun with a double victory in round 2 for the AMS, and also we have just outside of the top 10 Dylan Vlolton with a P1 and P2 last time out. So we've still got some very good drivers to watch. Also leader Olmac P3 and P1 in round 1 for the AMS.
Sorry, what number am I looking for? Sorry, Rob.
Oh, that was number 82. I'm not sure if he's driving. He's in the McLaren and he is just starting the back straight. Yes,
I was on board with him. So it's, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Is it Ollie Mack? Is it? But yeah, we're riding on board with him now. He's the car number 82 McLaren. We'll see how he gets on. Will Freeman, LCK Stratos, Pro Tune, Kai. Daz is obviously in the race. But yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you do enjoy round 4 at Cota. Also DGM Sport as well. And yeah, Will Friedman, yeah, we have a lot to watch tonight. We've definitely got our hands full, that is for sure. So, anyone else coming? I think it is 82. 82 is the nearest to the start-finish line now. So,
yeah, I was just watching the 321 car of Souza in the pro category. Didn't improve his time, so remains P18 in the pro, and it will be Olmac first across the line as he makes his way round the last corner.
It doesn't look like he sets a lap time.
Oh, lap invalidated. So Descartes.
Yep.
Yeah,
P23
BMW. Yep. Pops himself in and amongst the pros.
Yep, indeed. So 3.5 seconds down on pole position. That will be, what is that? 2:11.1, is it?
Yeah. And
yep.
Also, De Brave pops himself into P20 in number 69 Ferrari, and we see Vlolton up into P27 in the Ferrari.
28 now, so because Cablo has replaced him in P26 in the number 84 BMW. So fantastic work there for the AMS, mixing it up with the pros. Great to see, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think the cut-off between the pro and the AM must be very, very close. Yeah,
definitely for sure. Trying to find a driver near to the start-finish line. I think it's car number 321, which would be...
That's Frank Souza.
Oh, that's Frank Souza. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought the pros were done now, so I was just looking for the amateurs, to be honest. What else have we got? And so we're on 79 at the moment. That is Chris Gedman. Of course, one of the FRL boys. So be interesting to see how Gedman gets on. This is the very first time I've ever seen him race before. So no pressure, Chris.
I have a feeling Souza may have missed the memo because he's still circulating in that pro category.
Yes, and I would imagine that the stewards are taking a hard look on him now because, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're not supposed to be racing. But Melvin Crows is also on track as well in P11 now. unless they have a certain amount of laps that they're allowed to go around the circuit. That's the only thing that I can think of, because Mikowski is also out on circuit now in P9.
It was a late addition to the event this evening. Obviously, we are used to just spectating the pros, but today we are lucky enough to have 39 drivers on track.
Okay, yeah, confirmed by Dazza. Then it's 10 minutes for the pros, 10 minutes for the AMs. So I thought maybe it might be that they have an allotted amount of laps to put in, but yeah, that would make more sense. 10 minutes for each category. So there will be a few drivers getting. We'll be put in the naughty corner, maybe, Rob.
Yeah, I'll leave that one down to the stewards there.
Yeah, because Sousa is still, this is confusing the hell out of me at the moment. So we got Sousa in P18, approaching the line, but that could be a lap invalidation or something. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see what happens. We can only spectate on what we can see, Rob. So yeah.
Yeah, just riding on board with Sproston in the 269 Porsche as he makes his way down to the back straight. If there is any mods in chat, if they could get rid of that one for us, it'd be much appreciated.
Yep. Okay, so looking at the map, 82 and 205, is that the pros, is it? I think it may well be 82. Wow. Oh no, 82 is Olmac, who's gone back into the pit, so doesn't improve on his lap, remains in P23, 2.5 seconds adrift of pole position. That will be 2:10.1. Okay. Oh, big moment there from no. I see someone go skidding off the circuit. Although actually,
that was the number 79, I believe.
That was Chris Gedman. Sproston did exactly the same. So that commentary curse is definitely out today again, Rob.
Yeah, it doesn't. A week doesn't go by without you cursing somebody off at the circuit.
Of course, won't pick up a lap time on there. Chris Gedman did come across the line 5 seconds adrift of the pole sitter, which will be a 2:12.6. Right, okay. So maybe the track temperature might be a factor for the drivers today. Obviously, like, you can have tracks where it's a pretty cool track and there's no grip, but it can also apply when it's a hot track as well. So perhaps the drivers are kind of struggling with overheating tyres.
Yeah, it's going to be a warm one. So the checkered flag has dropped, so those on a lap will have enough time to finish, and that will be it for the qualifying session. So
yes, we are running aboard with Dumbrave in P20 at the moment, currently the leader of the amateur class in that Ferrari 69 car. He is just approaching the U-bend now, so that is turn 13. Let's see how he gets on through here. It's a nice tidy line through there. And going for the penultimate corner then. Yeah, it's a tidy line. And coming up to the final corner. Can he improve on his lap time and improve his position? P20 at the moment. No, he doesn't. Remains in P20. Car 160 is Vloten. He's into the pits. And that is it. That is it for quali. So let's have a look at the standings then, Rob. So Busov qualifies on a pole position for the pros, 2:07.6 206.75. Then we've got Di Stefano in P2 with a 207.7, with Townsend in P3 207.760, and Silver in P4 207.927, with Vortel in the top 5 207.970. Then Law is in P6 208.0, with Ben Milden also with a 208.0 in P7, and then we've got Grace in P8 with a 208.1, with Makowski also with a 208.1 in P9, and Bergantin rounds up the top 10.
My apologies.
What's up?
Will in chat has just explained to us Stefano is Critico.
Oh, okay. You know, not to confuse us anymore. But yeah, so yeah, big grid here. Crows P11, Kobe Alerts P12, Naisbitt P13, Mullinix P14, Clark P15, Danny McCutcheon P16, Wazza P17, Souza P18, Furka P19, then Brave P20 first for the AM class. Then we got Descartes in P2 for the AMs in P21, Spanu in P22, P23 for Olmec, P24 for Vloten, P25 for Roos, P26 for Eaton Hadley, P27 for Friedman, P28 for Kalugin, P29 for Cablo, P30 for Trotman, P31 for Reese, P32 for... I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt, mate. P33 for Townsend, P34 for Gedman, P35 for Sproston, P36 for Bellarmine, P37 for Smith, P38 for Morley, and P39 for Wessels, with Robinson in P40 at the back of the grid. Wow, that is a field and a half, Rob.
Take a breath.
Yeah. So, what is happening in chat then? So, you can see times. Yeah, my first race ever here. I don't ever have stars for this track yet. Means I don't know it all. Yeah, to be honest, Will, I spent about a day on Cota. A couple of days ago. I mean, honestly, mate, I must have spent at least a couple of hours just trying to get a valid lap time, but eventually I did find my rhythm, and I was so happy with my lap time. Now, of course, the lap that I did put in was kind of like perfect conditions, you know, low fuel. So these drivers don't have that. They've got a very hot track, obviously fuel to deal with, tyre wear to deal with. So perhaps I can't really compare my lap time to the lap times that the drivers are putting in or put in qualifying. But I'm still happy though, Rob. You know, I've got to be happy, haven't I?
Yeah, so I attempted this track myself. I'm pretty brand new to ACC, and it took me about 14 laps to just get a clean one, let alone a quick one. I think I managed to get down to the 209s by the end of the after a few hours, but I won't be touching anywhere near these 206s that the guys are doing in practice. Not anytime soon. Just to clear up, there's probably some confusion for us. It's the Moroccan driver of Abdelaziz, which might be a much easier name. We don't actually butcher his surname.
The guy in P32 that I couldn't pronounce, you mean?
Yes.
Right, okay. Okay, yeah, if we can remember that, then Aziz is what I will go with then. Yeah, but let's hope that we can get to him, because we have got 40 drivers on the grid. Like absolutely incredible. 20-minute race one, of course, here at Cota. We've got 1 minute 20 until the formation lap starts. But I mean, is it too early for me to call out and say who are the favourites to win this race?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
It's kind of like winning the lottery, isn't it? I think. But Yeah, I mean, I've been very impressed with Busov throughout this championship. Of course, Fortel is currently leading the pole as well. So I would, to be honest, I think he would be disappointed with P5. But yeah, obviously the runaway leader in the championship at the moment, you've got to at least sort of give him a bet, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, major credit to all of them. I'm just coming up to the 30-second buzzer has gone off. What will make our job a little bit easier today, this evening, Sean, is turn 1 is appropriately named turn 1.
Turn 1.
So
yeah,
I don't think any of the corners have names here at Cota. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, I mean they really thought hard and long about these corner names, didn't they, Rob? But, just to respond to chat as well. So Will Freeman said that Heaton is our lonely girl Elizabeth. Yes, I did notice actually. Yes, so good luck to Elizabeth. Good luck to all the drivers, of course, but yeah, definitely good luck to the only female on the circuit. So yeah, I think the track temperature has come down a little bit, hasn't it?
Come down a couple of degrees. It was up into the 49s during practice.
Yeah. So, of course, this is a 8 o'clock race 1, but yeah, still 45 degrees at 8 p.m. Unbelievable.
It won't be 8 p.m. there, will it?
Oh, sorry. Do you know what? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I saw 20. No. And I'm thinking, right, it's 8 o'clock, but no, that's 20 minutes. The countdown for the race. I'm losing my marbles, Rob. So
look at the size of the car.
Yeah, this is definitely a nightmare of a race. I think the drivers have to be quite conservative. I know it's a sprint race. I know that people are battling for position, but it's so easy to cut the track. It's so easy to pick up, a track limits penalty. 3 cuts is a pen, isn't it, for the drivers? So I can see that happening in 1 lap, to be honest, Rob. So
The drivers are going to have to be super cautious of one another. With the not only the amount of cars on the grid, you've got the mixed category. So they are all in GT3 cars, however, but I don't think they're in a GT4. No, they are all in GT3. So we don't have a car class or golfing class in the cars, but we do have the pros and the AMs. We are 30. Let me just double check on these numbers again. We are 38 drivers strong. I think it's going to be a busy one.
Definitely for sure, Rob. Yes, they are. I mean, this is a long formation lap in itself. Obviously, average sort of like a 2-minute 10 lap. So, drivers just being a bit conservative, not wiggling around, not testing the brakes out. Of course, they want to. Normally, they would try to conserve the tyre try to conserve the heat in the tyres, but obviously a very hot track. They will want to conserve their tyres as much as possible before we start the race here at Cota. So just coming around the final corners now.
Just a few more corners to go as they make their way up to turn 19, the downhill right-hander. And we are about to get underway. The drivers are now coming into the last corner, and over to you, Sean, for the start of the race.
Thank you, Rob. So yes, we've got Busov and Stefano on the front row. Porsche against Ferrari as we await the green lights to start round 4 of the Super Sprint Series here in the circuit of the Americas circuit. Can we get a good, clean getaway between the drivers? Lights are green, and away we go. And drivers trying to shuffle for position. We've got Busov at the front of the grid with Stefano, and the 55 car was Silver, I think. So up into P3 for Silver, and Vortel. I'm waiting for the camera to pan back round, but we've got Busov in P1 with Stefano P2. Silver just behind. Oh my God, and there's Law. No, and Vortel, sorry. Vortel into the wall with another driver. I don't know who that was. Wow, there's a lot of cars on the circuit here, Rob.
Yeah, Vortal with huge damage to the front left. We have yellow flags. We've got 2 cars on the 3 cars in the pit, 4 cars in the pit. Oh dear, so, yeah, huge accident down into the S's on lap 1. Carnage indeed. The number 999 is Vortal, of course, still stationary on the track.
It seems like we've got 6 drivers in the pits, Rob. I think we're waiting for the leaderboards to update, but yeah, we've got Busov in the lead at the moment. 5 tenths is the lead from Stefano. Now it's Silver in P3. Just behind him, actually. They are nearly bumper to bumper there, to be honest. The McLaren on the Ferrari. Is it? Oh my God, Stefano up the inside of Busov and claims the lead of the race. Busov is going to come fighting back, though, around the outside. So Stefano's going to have the inside line. But yes, Stefano making a brave move up the inside of Busov into the lead of the race. Stefano's going to have, Busov is going to have to defend from Silver to hold on to that P2.
Very, very wide on exit there for Stefano as well. Absolutely phenomenal move though to get the pass done. And
Law around the up the inside of Ben Milden then. So Law into P4, Milden into P5. We got Mikowski at the back of that little pack there. So Mikowski in P6, but yeah, it's very close at the top then. So we need to keep an eye on this at the moment. Stefano just leading from Busov, and Silva not too far behind in close proximity. Then we've got Law sort of in the middle of the 2 packs, with Ben Milding leading the other of the packs in P5. Kowalski in P6 with Melvin Crows in P7. Townsend and Mullenix and Kobe Alerts rounding up the top 10. But yeah, still very, very close between the top 3 drivers. So Stefano is leading Busov by about 2 tenths of a second. Oh, Busov a little bit late on the brakes. Did look like he was going to go into the back of the leader there. Gets it stopped in time as we go down the long straight. Will there be any passing opportunities here? Because there's going to be some slipstream involved here. Can Busov use the slipstream of Stefano to make a move on him before we get into the braking zone? It's not looking likely, no. Stays on the back of Stefano, but it is literally nose to tail. Busov almost looked for an opportunity up the inside as Stefano left a slight door open for him, but backs off. Will bide his time to perhaps make a move a bit further on in the lap. But yeah, Silva also very close to the back of the front 2 as well, so you can't count him out either. And actually, Law not too far behind as well. He is actually closing on Silva in P3, with Ben Milden not too far behind as well. So yeah, Ben doing an excellent job in P5, and it seems like this is his circuit. Has made up quite a number of positions from qualifying.
Just checking in with the race as well. Louis Descartes currently in P1 in the AMs with a reasonable lead of around a second to that will be Bruno Olmec in P2 in the 82 McLaren. Rickden Brave currently sat in P3, just a further few seconds behind in the 69 car of the Ferrari 296 GT3. Yeah, so good battle going on in the AMs. There's a lovely little collection of Ferraris 19 through 22, just behind Will Friedman in the Mercedes for the pros.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the pros going really well in this race. Of course, there was it was hard for us to really pick up who was involved in these collisions at the start of the race. May have to look at the highlights later on, but yeah, they have jumped up many positions to P19, 20, 21 and 22. We've also got Descartes in P12 for the AMS, so he is leading the AMS at the moment, 1.8 seconds. 1.1 seconds is the gap between himself and Olmak in P2 for the AMS. And then Brave is in P3 for the AMS, currently in P15. One pro car between them.
So in that early incident, just checking now that the grids have updated themselves, we did lose Vortal. We also lost Frinkar, Elizabeth, Eaton Hadley, Spanu back in the pits, Berg, Gantin back in the pits, and also Grace back in the pits as well.
Oh, Busov was defending the inside to Silva. Silva was looking to make a move. Wasn't going to work around the outside, of course. So Busov does hold on to P2 for now. Yeah, that is Stefano, that is Busov, Silva. So I think there is a back marker coming up, I believe.
Yeah, I think someone just backed out the BMW.
Oh, Lord trying to make a move on Silva. Oh, he's all over the back of Silva. He's going to have to take the outside line. Well, you can't make the switcheroo. Obviously, in the S's there, so we'll have to again bide his time. Maybe try and make the move on the straight. But yeah, really close battle. We are talking 2 seconds separating the top 4 cars, Rob.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. Really close battle up front. Drivers really pushing, really pushing track limits right to the edge. How there hasn't been any penalties awarded just yet is beyond me, because I would have picked up about 1 million. As we see there, the first of the cars, commentator curse, car number 32 has just picked up a drive-through penalty for track limits.
Oh dear. Okay. I think was one of the drivers that didn't set a lap time in quali. Not sure if it was Wazza or it was the other driver, but it rings a bell. But yeah, easily done. Drive-through penalty for him. He's going to go towards the back of the grid then. And yeah, with like 11. Well, just under 12 minutes left in race 1. Yeah, not looking good for Wazza. We are still on the train with the top 4 cars. The Stefano has pulled a little bit of a gap to Busov. It's now 1.3 seconds. Busov is defending from Silva and Law, trying to hold on to that P2. We've got 2 hungry drivers behind him. Can they make any moves in the final 11 minutes of this race? We've also sorry, go on.
Not really sure where those 10 minutes have gone. It's absolutely stormed by.
Yes, indeed. It's been fast and frantic, a very fast and frantic start, should I say, at Cota in race 1. Yeah, I don't know where to sort of stay on board, to be honest, because there is quite a few battles going on track. We've got Makowski sort of leading a pack of himself, Crows and Townsend for P6, 7 and 8 respectively, and then we have got Danny McCutcheon, who is just 6 tenths behind Kobe Alerts, who is in P10, McCutcheon in P11, and then we've also got a train of cars with Descartes leading the Pro-Ams, with Clark sort of sandwiched in between each Pro-Am car in the Pro car, that is Clark. So yeah, very difficult to Yeah, I don't know what to decide to stay on, to be honest, Rob. It's looking like I'm going to have to stay on board with the top four because they haven't separated all race. Law is still currently 6/10 behind Silva in P3, and Silva is right on the bumper of Busov as well, so putting all sorts of pressure to Busov to grab that P2 away from him. Yeah, it is. It's a hard one to call here, Rob, but it does look like that Stefano is extending his gap at the top whilst the other three drivers behind do fight it out.
Yeah, certainly. Opened up that gap a little bit. Obviously, Law did have the fastest lap of the race. I think that has been taken away now. I'm sure that's not showing on my screen anymore. Has he lost it? No, he still does. So he's still got plenty of pace in hand, setting the fastest laps of the race, chasing down at the pack in front of him of Stefano, Busov and Silva in the Ferrari number 26 car. Descartes getting a reasonable...
Oh, a squirrely moment for, is it Townsend? I can't see what it was. BMW 420 car. There is that's Townsend. So it is Kroos that is at the front of that pack then. So very, very close battles between Kroos, Townsend and Mullinix, I believe. No, in fact, I'm wrong. It is between Mikowski, Kroos and Townsend. So for P6, 7 and 8. And Townsend goes around the outside, is it, of Kroos? I think. I'm waiting for the camera to kind of adjust itself here. With the leaderboards as well. So we got... Oh, who's that? Is it Mikowski and Kroos together, is it? No, it's not.
Oh! Who was that?
Oh, Rob, we have got a bit of a battle going on. Silva, Law was up into P2, but Silva then retakes that P2 away from Law. Law's in the green car, of course. Silva in the silver McLaren. So, yeah, there is definitely a bit of a ding-dong battle going on for P2. Di Stefano has developed nearly a 4-second gap on this pack. It is a battle for P2 between 4 drivers now. Ben Milden has entered the race here. Rob, any other action going on that I'm missing?
Oh, absolutely. There is a brilliant race going on for the top 3 positions of the AND drivers. Bruno Olmach has just took the lead away from Lucas Gartes. We've got Rickden Brave and also Dan Naisbitt in the pro category trying to get round this battle.
Oh, a bit deep in the brakes there. That was Naisbitt.
Phenomenal stuff.
That was Naisbitt in the pros. It's kind of sandwiched in between all the amateurs here. Wow, what's the race?
Brilliant racing between those 3 in the AM category. So Bruno Olmach with leader of the leader, and I think he just lost the spot again. No, he hasn't. Sorry, right. My bad.
Yeah, very difficult. So, there's a spin! There's a spin from Bellarmine. I don't know if there was contact or he just spun on his own accord there, but losing out in that big train of cars down into P21, I think.
Yeah, that one slipped me by there. Sean.
There was another car in the background, and I don't know who that was. I think it was a red Ferrari, but at this stage I cannot see.
Law, I thought Law was going to make a move up the inside of Silva then for P2.
Yeah, it's very, very tight between the top 5, second to 5th at the moment. Law not giving up here, but Silva will have the inside line for the left-hand hairpin, and he gave him respect there, but Law going over the sausage there, so Busov may get a run on him on the outside. don't think it's good. No, I don't think it's going to make that work. So Law will hold on to that P3 for now. This is a fantastic racing, though, Rob. Really clean and really close racing. Really great to see.
Yeah, Law a little bit unlucky then finding himself on the outside, and those sausage curbs are really, really brutal. I imagine you've hit them yourself practicing this lap, because I know I certainly
for
did.
sure, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see the underneath of my car, because I can imagine everything underneath would have been battered. But thank God that these are just virtual cars, Rob?
Yeah. True that. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds remain in this 20-minute race 1 sprint. Stefano with a rather healthy lead over Silva, over Law and Busov, all in very close proximity. Also,
Busov has made a mistake because Milden has gone in front of him. So I'm not sure if Busov had a slight bit of a moment, maybe losing the rear of the car, because it's very easy to do at this circuit, of course. But yeah, Milden up into P4, Busov down into P5. I think Busov was... no, Busov would have been P4 anyways. But yeah, Law P3 just on the back of Silva, using that slipstream, may try to make the opportunity work. He slips up the inside. Oh, it looked like he was going to slip up the inside. He backs out for the time being.
A little cheeky look then.
Yeah.
A little bit too far back, a bit too opportunist, but he's going to get a much better exit from this one. Did try the move around the outside last lap, but found himself on the curb. So keeps it nice and tidy this time, gets a good exit, and it's Silva that finds himself clipping those sausage curbs this time around. All very, very close.
Indeed, Rob, indeed. Yeah, it's as I said, it's a very difficult one to call. There is a slight gap actually between Law and Milden now. I believe it's just over a second, but Milden has got Busov for company, as we know with Busov. Clearly got the pace and never gives up as well. Milden will have to be on his toes and be very wary and looking in his rear mirrors to make sure that Busov does stay behind him in P5. But yeah, Law up the inside. Law up the inside of Silva. Can he make it stick? Oh, he doesn't, because he goes wide and Silva gets a better traction out of turn 1. So Silva gets that P2 back from Law.
There's only 2 minutes 20 now, so this may be the last. There'll be one more racing lap after this lap, I would imagine. No, definitely. So penultimate lap. Has Law got enough time to get this done? He's been chasing down now for a couple of laps, and he's had a couple of little nibbles on Silva, but failed to make it stick. Will he be able to get it done with only a lap and a half remaining of this race?
Okay, Law getting very close to the back of Silva there, just about gets that Ferrari stopped in time, but yeah, putting all sorts of pressure on Silva. As alluded to with Rob, there'll be one more lap after this one, so yeah, if Law is going to make any moves, it's got to be now. Silva defending for his life as they are side by side, leading up to turn 13, but Law is not going. He's trying to switcheroo, but of course Silva is going to have the inside line for turn 15. Yeah, that's a good line from Silva. Silva defending hard, defending fairly though, just not showing any opportunities for Law to make a pass.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal racing from these two side by side through that entire complex. Very, very difficult, and the leader is now officially on the final lap of the race as Law. He's still piling on the pressure. Silva doing a fantastic job of keeping him behind, but this is the last lap of the race, folks. I think this one's worth sticking with, Sean, because this is going to go right to the wire.
100%, Rob. 100%. So yeah, Silva. I mean, he moved over to the left very, very early. Yeah, it's going to take a very opportunistic move. I don't even know if that's a word, Rob, but yeah, it's going to take a lot of skill for Law to get around Silva. Silva defending hard, wants to hold on for that P2. So yeah. Thank you, Ryan. By the way, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do think you just made up a brand new word there for for the race this evening. I bet you didn't expect that, chat, but there you go. New words to use in your broadcast commentary.
What can I say? What can I say, Rob? But yeah, it's Silva's still holding on to P2 at the moment. Law just behind. Ben Milden has closed that gap now to Law. So Law will have to be wary of Milden in case if he does make a mistake. Although Law was looking to make a move, or at least showing a nose up the inside, but Silva thought better of that. Didn't fall for Law's tricks there. Yeah, Law, wow, I mean, look how close that is. I mean, they're pretty much touching there. But yeah, Silva doing an excellent job on the apex, although he did go a little bit wide over the sausage. So did Law as well. Ben Milden will be closing the gap then on them, with Busov just behind for close company as well. So very, very close between the top five. But Stefano is going to win race one of the 20-minute sprint races here at Cota. So congratulations to Stefano. And then Silva looks like he's going to get P2. So Silva gets P2, Law P3, Milden P4, Busov P5. Then Crow's not too far behind the P6, with Townsend in P7, Mullenix in P8, and Kobe in P9. Makowski rounds up the top 10 with McCutcheon P11, Clark P12, and yeah, then we got Naisbitt just coming around the final corner to claim a P13, with Descartes will win it for the AMS in P14, away from Brave in P2, and Friedman just... in fact, was he... I thought he came across before Brave then, but to be honest, obviously different categories, isn't it, Rob? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just packing up. Obviously, the action was very, very hot in the pro race, but Olmac did find himself. He was leading the AMP category, but he found himself quite far back into the mix, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe there was an... They were in very, very close battle between Olmec, Rickton Brave, and Louis Descartes. So yeah, race victory for Descartes, and congratulations to Matteo Di Stefano for the race win in the pro category.
Yeah, that was an absolute phenomenal race there, Rob. I felt guilty not, shuffling a bit further down the field just to check on the other drivers, but that racing was phenomenal, and I couldn't take my eyes off it, Rob. Absolutely, literally nose to tail. Well, maybe Stefano pulled away, but P2, 3, 4 and 5, wow, what a race between them though.
Yeah, fantastic job from the drivers. So they did early incident while the pack was all very, very, very close together. Did see a couple of retirements that race, which we never like to see, but imagine it's very difficult with all those cars around you. But what a fantastic race after that. Wheel by wheel, wheel to wheel action up and down the grid. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And with another race to come.
Indeed, Rob. Indeed, yes, we do have a 40-minute race ahead of us. There was a big pile-up at the start of this 20-minute sprint between, was it 6 cars, wasn't it, Rob? So hopefully we're hoping for maybe a less eventful 40 minutes. I mean, we all want drama, of course we do, but maybe a cleaner start at least to race 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, those drivers did get
caught up in that battle. For some of them, I don't think they could do much about it. They did look like they were just a passenger in the carnage that lay in front of them. But yeah, unfortunate for those drivers. Hopefully, we can get a much cleaner start, like you say, and we can get some more of that fantastic wheel-to-wheel action. Because yeah, that was awesome race.
Awesome race. Yeah, just to confirm, the drivers that didn't finish then was Vessels, Grace, Spanu, Fernka, Vortel, Smith, Souza. So
it's going to impact that pro leaderboard because, as we know, Vortel is the current pro. The next Vortel is the pro leader with 240 points. Busov is going to close that gap quite significantly during that race. And he's still not going to enough to take the lead, but he's definitely going to close up that gap. So brilliant race for Buznov. Good points in the bag for him.
Well, it definitely ends that sequence that he had. Vortel had 4 wins on the bounce. So yeah, that ends that sequence of race wins. But yeah, I think what did he have? I think he had like a 60-point lead, I think it was, in the championship. I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Currently P2 is Jay Wazza in the Ferrari 296 GT3 on 167 points. So ZNX Vortel is currently on 240 points. So yeah.
Well, 53 points was the lead then, but yeah, quite a significant points lead. Of course. 40 points is the maximum points that you can get per race, isn't it? So yeah, hoping Vortel doesn't have the same in race 2, of course. We'll see.
Yeah, I imagine he will be hoping exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, race 2, ladies and gentlemen, 40 minutes around the circuit of the Americas. I don't seem to have any control over anything. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. 2 minutes and 30 until we start the formation lap, and then it is a 40-minute race in the baking heat of Austin, Texas.
Sorry, Rob. I just had to turn off my turn on my light there because I couldn't see anything then. All of a sudden, got a bit dark in here. So yeah, 2 minutes until the formation lap, and obviously it's the same lineup from qualifying. So Busov and Stefano will be on the front row with Townsend and Silva on row 2. Then we got Law and Milden on row 3 with Grace and Mikowski on the 4th row. Sorry, Bergantin and Crows on the 5th row. So yeah, praying that we get a better start to race 2 than we did in race 1. We'll see what happens here. Also, word of note as well, then Brave and Descartes will be row 1 for the Pro-Ams. In fact, it's not row 1, is it? Because they'll be behind each other, 18 and 19. But yeah, top 2 is Brave and Descartes. And then 3rd and 4th is Olmac and Vloten. But they have got Spanu right in the middle of them, so which will make it tricky, of course.
Yeah, I'd say the crossover between the top of the AM and the bottom of the Pro is quite small. So if you do find yourself in amongst them, you can't just expect to whiz round them 4 or 5 seconds quicker. We are talking a few tenths of a second that can split the top and the bottom of the pack.
Yeah. But yeah, we're hoping for Eaton Hadley, the only female driver in the field, to have a better start this time. Crashed out at the start. So yeah, hoping all the drivers will have a clean getaway this time. But yeah, 38 drivers on the grid, and Vortel is starting from 38th. Yeah.
10 seconds.
So yeah, I don't know if he disconnected at some point, any time between when he crashed out and this race here. But yeah, starts at the back instead of P5, I think he qualified. So
yeah, he was very much at the front of the grid. So work to do for Vortel after that 4 straight win streak in the Pro. Zdeněk Vortel is going to have to find his way through a hell of a lot of traffic in front of him as they do start their formation lap.
Indeed, Rob, indeed. So yeah, same again. Actually, the track temperature is cooling slightly. I've just noticed. So it was
41 track, 37 ambient air pressure. Obviously, it is not 40-100 hours.
yeah, I can't make that mistake this time, Rob. But yeah, the track is 4 degrees cooler than it was in the previous race. So the ambient temperature subsequently also cooler at 37 degrees. So should be a little bit better for the drivers, but of course double the stint, of course. So they will still have to look after them tyres and make sure that they're not overheating too much. It will definitely affect the drivers in the long run. So yeah, interesting to see what is going to come about in race 2.
Looking forward to this one, Sean, as Buzov leading the guys out, guys and girls out, making his way up to the left-hander to start the back straight.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so quite a long straight. I didn't actually get the figure of how long that back straight is, but you're literally going from first gear, roughly about 50 miles an hour, to 160 miles an hour. So you're literally revving out the whole car till you get to the next braking point. So it's got to be at least, I don't know. It's got to be.
I reckon.
Yeah, go on.
Actually, no, it's 1.2 kilometres.
So that is, what is that, 0.7 miles, is it? I think, or 0.8? It's something like that, isn't it? So yeah, that is a very, very long straight. So if you get a good exit, if you're behind the driver and you get a good exit, you get the toe all the way up the straight, and there's a good opportunity that you can actually make a move by the time they get into the braking zone. Seem to have lost you there, Rob.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
I was just moving in my chair and had to mute the mic because my chair can be quite creaky at times.
Yeah.
For the viewers watching, they don't want to hear my creaky chair.
Your squeakiness, yeah. Okay. Alright, so yeah, we are just coming around the final corners then to start race 2 here at Circuit of the Americas. So yeah, Busov against Stefano for turn 1. We'll see what comes of it. Of course, we haven't got Vortel in the mix this time, so it will be Townsend from Silver, from Law, from Milden. So
They're just coming up to that last corner now.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, just awaiting the green light so we can start race 2 of the Super Sprint Series here in Austin, Texas. Circuit of the Americas. And the lights go green, and away we go. And Busov gets a lightning start. An absolute lightning start there for Busov, and fends off Stefano in P2. Townsend is still in P3, I believe, with Silver P4 alongside him.
Silver got a phenomenal start and got straight into that final podium position. Yeah, absolute blistering start from the McLaren.
Indeed, indeed, and we've got Law in the mix there. Did Law actually lose a couple of positions? I think he may have done. Just waiting for the leaderboards to sort itself out, but Busov is leading right now from Stefano. Stefano on the back of him in P2. Silva, up into P3, so it gets in front of Townsend, who is in P4. We've got Law up into P5 now. With Ben Milden in P6, who is defending from Grace in P7, but Grace will be all over the back of Milden as we go up the straight. So can Ben Milden fend off the Ferrari of Grace? Oh, we see movement at the front. No. We see movement at the front, and Stefano. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between Busov and Stefano as they go off the circuit. And Silva were closing on at the front too, but Stefano is the new leader of the race from that resulting incident. But yeah, Silva all over the back of Busov now with, I think it's Law. Law is up into P4, Townsend down into P5 as well.
Yeah, that's correct. And Milden really closing the gap now down to Townsend as well in the 5 BMW. Is a very, very close train. Gray still very much in touch, as well as Crows and Kobe. Also, they're all there.
Yes, so Stefano will come across the line to be leading Busov from Silva, from Law, from Townsend, from Milden. Milden has got Grace for company, but Crows is actually very close to the back of Grace. The two Ferraris, of course, as we go into turn 1. No moves so far, but look how close it is between Grace, Crows and Kobe as well. So a nice little battle brewing up for the battle for P7. There's quite a number of cars in that train. Just looking back on board with the front runners, because Stefano has developed a bit of a gap. It's a bit of a roles reverse on race 2 here. If you remember, Rob, Busov got caught in a tangle with the 3 or 4 drivers. Then Stefano got the chance to pull ahead, or pull away, sorry. It's kind of happening again.
Yeah, definitely roles reversed. Just checking in with the IAM's Olmec with a phenomenal start in the AM category. He currently sits in P1 with just a few tenths of a second, about just over half a second back to his P2 counterpart, with Naisbit as a little sandwich.
Oh, look how close Law is on Silva. I mean, literally near enough touching there. I thought there might have been a bit of was going to be a bit of contact, but Law just about got it stopped. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Law's like. Law never gives up without a fight, and Silva definitely knows he's in for a torrid time here, but holding on to that P3 for now.
It looks like we got contact at the back of the grid. Spanu, number 18 Ferrari round, and it looks like potentially some contact with Chris Gedman maybe in the number 79 BMW, but those two drivers.
Yeah, there's a bit of damage to Chris Gedman's car there actually. Yeah, it looks like they've had quite a contact, quite a bit of contact there. Yeah. Vortel, meanwhile, of course, qualified P5, started at the back of the grid for race 2. He is up into P32 now. It looks like there is a little bit of damage on his car as well, though. So maybe he got caught up in it. He's got a little bit of front bumper damage by the looks of it.
Yeah, you can see the damage on both of those cars. So maybe there's a coming together. I wouldn't like to speculate. I didn't see the incident, but I did see both cars facing the wrong way pretty much at the back of the pack there now for those two drivers.
Wow, look at this, Rob. In the midfield pack here, we've got about 6 cars running. There was actually 2 cars side by side, but look at that. Wow, 5 cars within probably like half a second or so, Rob. I mean, literally, stuck like magnets or something. I mean, they were that close together. Wow, oh my God. And then I don't know who the purple car is. That might be Friedman, is it? Or Reese? Oh, the Reese actually goes, oh, there's contact. There is big contact between the green car, which I think was McCutcheon, and another car. I didn't quite see it there, but yeah, big a clang then I heard, and McCutcheon getting pushed out wide and moving down positions, and wow.
What we were watching on board with that, Law has taken the position off Silver. He got the inside line coming down the back straight. A nice, super clean pass from Law. He has moved himself up to P3.
So Law finally makes that move on Silver, and yeah, he'll be chasing down Busov next. Then there is about a 2-second gap, I believe. Maybe, no, it looks a lot less than that actually. It's 0.8 seconds. So clearly Law has got the pace, and yeah, that Ferrari is very, very quick. The Porsche tends to be really good in the corners, but the Ferrari, decent down the straights. So we'll be looking to chase down Busov and apply the pressure on him, whilst Stefano has developed a 2-second lead over Busov. So yeah, Stefano a little bit more comfortable in the lead as we're on lap 4 of this 40-minute race.
Yeah, almost 10 minutes gone already in this 40-minute feature race. Crows looking to close the gap on Grace, with Milden just ahead of those two. They're a very close battle there in P6, 7 and 8. Possibly even making a move there. Looks up the inside. Does it get it done? No, decides.
No, backs out. Yeah.
Decides to leave that one. But yeah, nice, interesting battle going on there. Also in the AM category, Robinson now very, very on the back of Louis Descartes in the 205 BMW, and obviously number 1 for Robinson. Good battle going on there. There's battles up and down his pack. Oh, there's a big contact, as I think it's Ruse is, got absolutely steamed into the hairpin. There's all sorts of chaos.
Wow,
I'm not sure the car, that one of the cars, I'm not sure who it was, but completely missed his braking point. And just drove straight into the side of Ruse there.
I think it's Reese. Reese and Ruse, is it? Because Reese has got loads of damage on the Ferrari 108, currently in P20. He's got a lot of damage on that car.
It was a green car.
Yeah, green. Yeah, dark green. Dark green 108 Ferrari. So Reese and Ruse. Who'd have thought? Right, okay, so obviously I did miss that there, guys, so yeah, not much I can really report on there. However, I can report on that I think it's Wazza that is very close to the back of Olmac for the fight for P13. Olmac goes a little bit wide. It looked like Wazza got a better exit. Now Wazza is obviously in the pros. I've just realised that. So you would actually expect Wazza to make a move at some point. But yeah, putting all sorts of pressure on Olmac. Olmac doesn't need to give way, of course, just because they're in different categories doesn't mean that he has to move off the circuit or anything. So yeah, Wazza's going to have a tough time trying to get around him. Yeah.
A huge update for the pro leaderboard, Sean. Vortel looks like he may be taking his second DNF. He's back in the pits, 1 lap down.
Wow.
With the DNF in the first race.
Absolute disaster then for Vortel. Yes, I've missed that as well. But yeah, Vortel got a DNF in the first race. We are not even, we're just about 10 minutes into race 2. And another DNF for Vortel. So there will be a changing in the standings order then after round 4 then, Rob.
Yeah.
We're back on board with Law. Law is getting very close to the back of Busov for the fight for P2. Stefano has developed nearly a 3-second gap between himself and Busov in P2. But yeah, Busov has got Law for company all over his mirrors. And yeah, it seems like there's only a matter of time before Law will perhaps launch it up the inside, perhaps. Oh, maybe not. I think he just backs off for now through turn 1, but gets good traction out of that exit and getting very, very close to the back of Busov. Busov is going to have to defend for his life if he is to hold on to that P2.
Yeah, super close battle up front once again. Obviously, with Vortal out of the question for what appears to be 2 races in a row, Buzov will definitely be looking to capitalise on that points deficit he currently has. Obviously, Nikola Buzov currently sat in P3. Pedro Silva sat in P4 will also close the gap over Vortal. Law, I'm just trying to find where Law is in the championship, or he did miss the first race of the season, if I remember rightly.
Law got a very, very good exit out of turn number 11, I think it is. So we're just going up the straight now. Law has the slipstream to Busov. Busov is sort of Law's going up the inside. Looks like he hasn't got it stopped. He has gone wide, but he will have the inside line for the next corner at turn 13. And he just about holds on to it. So he moves up into P2. He will get a warning for cutting track limits. So he will have to be wary of that. But currently right now, Law is up into P2, Rob.
Awesome stuff. Just looking to find what driver it was, but there was a driver facing the wrong way in S's number. I can't seem to find the car. Not sure. 84, isn't he? 84. I think it's Cablo in the AMS, the BMW for Cablo facing the wrong way there. Finds himself very, 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 very far back off the pack.
Okay, so just riding on board with Townsend, P5 he is at the moment, actually caught up to Silver then in P4. There is literally 8 tenths separating them two, and then we've got Ben Milden. I don't know if he made a mistake, but Ben Milden is on his own in P6. He is a good 3 seconds behind Townsend, with Grace closer to the back of Ben Milden than Milden is on Townsend. So, may have made a mistake somewhat during the last couple of laps. But there is a bit of a battle here for P7 as well, because Melvin Crowes in P8 is currently, it says 6 tenths. I think it's a lot closer than 6 tenths at the moment. He's not going to make the move on that turn, but they are side by side as we go down the straight. So can Melvin Crowes make the move? It is literally Ferrari versus Ferrari as we see 242 get a drive through for track limits. Who is that, Rob?
That'll be Naisbitt.
Oh dear. Not good news for Naisbitt, but Melvin Crowes will make the move up the inside. So Melvin Crowes up into P7. Grace will have to settle down into P8, although he is right on the bumper of Crowes, so not giving up without a fight. Crowes will take the inside line for the double left-hander. And Crowes gets a better line out, so he should managed to pull away from Grace now and try and catch Ben Milden in P6.
Well, Melvin Crowes currently sat P10 in the championship, looking to pick up some good results, some good points, because he did indeed miss round 3. But a very good, solid performance in round 1 and 2, picking up a podium spot for the second race in round 2, so he'll be looking to pick up and maximise as much of these, much of the points as he can.
Yes, indeed. Perfect opportunity to close the gap, if not even overtake Vortel. Unfortunate for Vortel. It can happen, of course. This is racing, Rob, isn't it? Vortel will be absolutely fuming that he didn't manage to pick up any points of round 4. But there is a car off the road, and someone's just gone off as well. I don't know who that was. I think it's Chris Gedman. Seems like Chris Gedman's having a bit of a mare at the moment. There was another car though I saw, but I think that was Gedman who may have spun it on the corner, which is quite easily done on these hairpins, I have to say, Rob. This is what I was alluding to on my track guide, that you kind of need to coast the car in. If you get on the brakes, the rear does step out, and I think that's what may have happened.
Yeah, super tricky circuit. I mean, these guys are leagues above where I'm currently at, but I find it very difficult to find traction in those areas. Yeah, if you haven't got your car quite set up right, or you're a little bit late on the brakes, the rear end will come around on you quite easily.
Indeed, Rob. Indeed. Just going a bit further down the grid because we've not really paid too much attention to him so far. So we've got Vloten, who is 2 tenths behind. I think it's Spanu, I think. Gets way too deep on the brakes though. So a missed opportunity for Vloten. Was looking to make an overtake. But yeah, Spanu should pull away.
Comfortable drive for Olmac in the AMS this time. Doesn't seem to be under too much pressure. Naisbitt does have a drive-through penalty. He is in between P1 and P2, which is Louis Descartes in the AM category. Robertson a few seconds back off this pack. So yeah, it looks a comfortable drive for Bruno Olmac in the AM category so far, as Dan Naisbitt does take his... Has he taken it? No, he stays out, so he has one more lap. He will have to serve that penalty next time round.
I may have got that wrong with the person that went deep, but I can't find it. It's so difficult on this 38 driver grid. Just trying to scout around, try to find some close battles on the circuit. I do find that Olmac in P15 is half a second off of Ferncar, which a very commendable job, you have to say, for Olmac, because he's in the Pro-Am category, Ferncar in the pros, but putting him under all sorts of pressure in the midfield pack.
Yeah, so as I was saying as I mentioned earlier, the gap between the top of the AMS and the bottom of the pros is so small. Sometimes, you can't just expect to just drive around these guys that are in the AM category. There are some super quick drivers in there as well. If you find yourself in that battle with one of the top AMs, there's a battle to be had. It's not going to be a walk in the park, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%, Rob. 100%. Yeah, these are all experienced drivers, and nothing's a given. You can't, as Rob said, you can't expect to just waltz past them. Skill is needed to get around each car. Of course, all the drivers are in the same category of cars. They're all in GT3 cars, so everyone's got the same power when it comes to their cars, and it really just depends on how they've got their car set up.
Yeah, setup absolutely crucial on this circuit as well, with the twisting section and a twisting section in sector 1. You're going to need a car that can really take those directional changes, going left, right to left to right to left to right over and over again. But then at the same time, you want a car that can pull away in those straights and really use the maximum of their top speeds to get overtaking manoeuvres done into the hairpins, into the heavy braking zones, get the braking done on the inside and try and get that move. So very challenging circuit to get the setup right.
Yes, indeed. 242 car must have just taken the drive-through penalty then. Was that Naisbitt, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Naisbitt. And we see another drive-through penalty for car number 79, which is Chris Gedman. He picked himself up a drive-through penalty.
Well, I did allude to Gedman that I felt that he may have been having a bit of a mare. I'm not going to say it, Rob. I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
But, yeah, as we said at the start of the programme, 3 cut track penalties, or 3 penalties for cutting track limits, shall I say, will result in a drive-through penalty. That is easily done in this race.
Super easy.
You know,
well, for me it is. I could probably manage 3 just in the S's alone.
Yeah, no, definitely, Rob. Yeah, very tricky. Definitely in Sector 1 and Sector 2 of the circuit of the Americas. I think there's only like one corner. I think it's the penultimate corner where you can kind of extend track limits a little bit more. But other than that, the other 19 turns, you've got to keep it between the white lines. Otherwise, yeah, then penalties are going to rack up.
I'm just driving on board with Verka right now in the 38 McLaren, closing up to the back of Olmec, who is still currently leading in the AM category, also in the McLaren GT3, sporting the number 82.
Well, I just seen Friedman go up the inside of Robinson. So yeah, pro against amateur. Friedman does get up the inside of him, makes his stick up into P17. Sorry, Rob.
I absolutely forgot what I was going to say. Just briefly then chat for a second, and then yeah, every word that I had completely disappeared. Oh yeah, sorry, I was just mentioning Bruno Olmec, still currently leading the AM category in the number 82 McLaren, and I think the comment I was going to make was the number 82 obviously being my race number of choice. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Bruno Olmec right now, so
yeah,
brilliant.
Well, yeah, absolutely brilliant, because yeah, he's leading the Pro-Am cars, doing an excellent job. Definitely doing it for the Pro-Ams, and showing some of the pros how it is done. So yeah, doing an excellent job in P14 there. Just scrolling a bit further up the field, so Stefano, because we haven't really focused on him for most of the race, he has got roughly about a 5-second lead over Law, who is in P2. Still has Busov for company, but hasn't managed to close the gap on Stefano. If anything, Stefano's race has gone from strength to strength. But yeah, Silva in P4 at the moment. You can see that not quite bumper to bumper. Yes, they are still in quite close proximity, but there is like a second gap between sort of Law and Busov to Silva, and then Silva to Townsend. I would say that Ben Milden has closed up a little bit more on, is it, or have I got that wrong?
Townsend seems to be the
sorry.
on
Yeah.
the charge in
Yeah, sorry.
the 420 BMW.
Yeah.
Really starting to pile the pressure onto Silva now. Yeah, the gaps remain quite consistent between the drivers. Number 778, which is Danny McCutcheon, is the next driver to pick up a track limit drive-through penalty. Absolutely heartbreaking, as we are coming very close to 15 minutes remaining in this feature race. Still can't call it.
Yeah, indeed, Rob. Indeed, yeah. 15 minutes is plenty around a circuit like Cota, of course, as we alluded to with the track limits. I do have a battle on track now, though, and it is between Grace and Clark. But Grace will defend the inside line, Clark to the outside. So I don't think Clark can make a move just yet, but has closed that gap massively now. It is like literally 1/10 between them. So that is the battle on track for P8. So we'll see if Clark can get closer. It looks like didn't get the best exit out of turn 12 there. As we go through turn 13, 14 and 15. Yeah, that gap has extended, so not a good couple of corners there for Clark. And actually, Bergentin isn't too far behind Clark as well in P10.
Jamie Rees, the British driver in the amateurs at the 296 GT3 Ferrari, currently sat P10 in the category, but has fell victim to a drive-through penalty for track limits. Currently sat P22 in the race and P6 in category, but he will obviously look to tumble down that order once he's served his penalty. We did say we expected to see some.
Yeah, no surprise there at all. Yeah, they are coming in thick and fast, but I'm not sure when they need to serve that drive-through penalty, but I think it will.
3 laps.
Is it within 3 laps? I see one of them coming in, so yeah, that is Danny McCutcheon and also Reese as well. So both of them deciding to get the penalties out of the way. That will drop them quite a number of positions, I believe.
Yeah, it's quite a big penalty, and with the pack quite close, especially in the AMS. That's quite a nasty penalty for Jamie Rees, the British driver there in the Ferrari 108.
Yep, indeed.
Another victim.
That's not. Oh no, sorry. That is Trotman this time. I thought it was going to be Naisbitt then, but no, Trotman this time in the Lamborghini 246 car. So yeah, they are dropping like flies, aren't they? Unfortunately, with the drive-through penalties. It is what it is, though, Rob. And hopefully they will learn from it. But yeah, as we said, easily done. But I do need to get on board with Busov, because what I didn't notice is that the gap has now tumbled to 3/10 between himself and Law in P2.
And the gap just behind that one is hotting up also. He's looking, and he has just, sorry, my apologies, the timing board just updated. It is a lot further than I actually thought it was, but just 1.5 seconds deficit to Silver, but just coming up to the 11.5 mark remaining. Still very difficult to score.
Yes. Well, we have got a 3-way battle for P7 at the moment. Is it P7? No, sorry, P8. Grace currently holds that position with Clark in P9 and Bergerton in P10. They're all within roughly about 1.5 seconds between P8 and P10. So interesting battle brewing up. As Rob said, 11 minutes left of the race. That is roughly about 6 laps. So yeah, a lot of racing to be done in the next sort of 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, this one's certainly not over, the battle there. So we have Morgan Race in the number 14, and I am correct, it will be Michael. I think it's Michael Clark in the 23.
Yeah.
And Mario Bergatine in the 78. I do hope I've got your names right. I have tried my best to remember everybody's name.
Yeah. Clark up the inside. Yes, Oh, it goes deep though. Goes deep, and Grace reclaims that P8 away from Clark. Bergerton may have an opportunity here. Yeah, Clark sees an opportunity, but got a little bit too late on the brake. Obviously, had the overspeed from the slipstream. Didn't judge his braking accordingly, so does slip down a bit further with Bergerton all over his back bumper.
Again, I keep saying it's definitely not done between those guys. Also, Joe was that catching up with the back of the 174 McLaren. Mikowski.
Yeah. Mikowski was one of the front runners, wasn't he, for qualifying, I believe?
Set a very good time in qualifying.
Unfortunately slipped down the order into P12. 174 Mikowski. I mean, we're racking up the commentators' curses at the moment, just like the drivers are racking up the drive-through penalties. Kowalski getting a drive-through penalty that has cost his race now, unfortunately.
I don't think I want to talk about any of the other drivers, just in case. Give them penalties.
Oh dear, yeah, it's what can we say, Rob? I mean, it's it's as we said, so easily done, especially when drivers are under pressure as well, and keeping half an eye in their mirrors of cars behind, and then they've got to keep it within the white lines as well. So yeah, easily done, and unfortunate there for Mikowski.
Michael Clark looking to build up a charge deep into the slipstream now of Grace. He moves to the inside, cover off the inside corner, but Clark still looking to hang it round the outside. Has to tuck back in, so Grace remains in position at the moment. Michael Clark still chasing down. Yeah, it looked like there was a move on there, but well defended by Grace.
Yes, indeed. Also looking on the battle for P4. So Townsend is still on the back of Silva. Currently 6/10 is the gap, but not quite close enough to make a move. So we'll go back aboard with Clark in P9 because he seems to be the driver that is closest to another rival. Grace defending well for the time being, but it looks like Clark again getting a bit too deep on the brakes, and that will give the opportunity for Bergerton to perhaps make a move there, who actually did get the corner correct there. Actually probably had to slam on the brakes a little bit more than he wanted to because Clark was there, but Bergerton not able to make a move at turn 1 on lap 16, But yeah, Clark's got to be wary here. Yes, he, obviously is pushing and pushing hard to get in front of Grace in P8, but Bergerton is very close as well in P10, so doesn't want to be losing positions either.
Yeah, these three have been at it for quite a number of laps left. Quite a number of laps now. With me 6 minutes 45 on the clock. If they are gonna. That's the 174 just clearing the drive-through penalty. If they want to keep that position, they're going to have to make a move and make it stick pretty soon.
Yes, indeed. However, we have got Townsend closing in on Silva. It looked like he may have gone or tried to make a move, but then decides to back out at last minute. But now Townsend all over the back of Silva in P4. So this race is definitely not dead yet. We've got 6 minutes left of race 2. They're just about to they're coming around turn 13. So there is going to be, I think, 3 laps remaining after this one.
Yeah, I'd predict about 3. The top drivers are doing 2:0. I can't see their lap times at the minute, unfortunately. Just checking on Stefano total time. Yeah, I can't see, unfortunately. I would say 3.
Yeah. But yeah, 3 laps remaining once they've done this lap, and yeah, there is definitely 2 battles going on track. This race is not done between P8, 9 and 10. Clark not giving up on Grace, but then also Bergerton not giving up on Clark because it looked like he was closing in on Clark. Now, of course, having driven the McLaren, I know that that's a very, very fast car, and yeah, definitely closes in on the BMW, which tends to be a little bit slower but better in the corners. But yeah, that McLaren all over the back of the BMW of Michael Clark. So yeah, it's a hard one to call here, because I know that Clark is itching to get in front of Grace, but then at the same time Bergerton looking very racy behind him.
Yeah, and we've got the flipped scenario in the manufacturers for the fight for P4 and 5, and this time the McLaren leads and the BMW of Townsend really grinding, and as you said, super quick and close that gap up in the S's at the beginning.
Oh, who was that? That was Grace over the sausage. And he has lost time, and Clark has gone up the inside of him. Bergerton may have the opportunity as well to leapfrog him, and I think he's just about made it stick, although Grace has got the inside, but I feel that yeah, Bergerton does take that P9 away from Grace. A big mistake from that Ferrari driver. So yeah, Clark P8, Bergerton P9, Grace in P10.
At the exact same time you were reporting in on that rate, Townsend made the move into the hairpin, got the move done on Silver, but got a bit of a poor exit slightly offline, and Silver retakes that P4 position. But absolutely awesome battle up front and in the mid-pack.
Yep, fantastic, Rob. Yes, very difficult to call which battle to stay on board on at the moment. It's because I feel that Bergerton has got the pace here. You know, it was very patient behind Clark. Yes, he is still behind Clark, but I feel like Bergerton has got the pace over the other 2 drivers. So this is not done, I don't think, as Clark goes a little bit slow out of the hairpin, a little bit wide. Bergerton gets a good line, more traction out of that corner, so he is closing in on Clark as we go through the S's now. And I don't know if that was a cut track penalty there or not. Oh my god, very close to the back of Clark there as he swept through onto the apex there. It looked like Clark took it a little bit slow and Bergerton got it perfect, but nearly into the back of him. Had to slam on the brakes. That means that Grace is now on the back of Bergerton as we come up to the hairpin.
Absolute scenes in the back, in the middle.
And Bergerton goes wide. Grace on the inside. I think Grace has got that move done. I think Grace is up into P9.
Yeah, that looks like it's done. Got much better exit out of the hairpin, although they are side by side.
They are, but Grace has got the inside line, so as long as he gets the brake done, yes, he does grab that P9 away from Bergerton. Clark is the one to prophesize from it. There are cars behind as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, this battle is now brought in Bellarmine as well. He's very, very close on the back of Bergerton at the minute as they are all battling. Looks like Bergerton looks for another move, finds himself on the outside of. So Grace keeps that position as Matteo Di Stefano starts his final lap of the race with Law 2.6 seconds just behind them. Boozov followed
what
by
a move!
Silver.
What a move from Bergerton! Tried the switcheroo on the penultimate corner, made it work and up into P9. Fantastic move from Bergerton. Then also Grace under all sorts of pressure now from Bellarmine. In fact, I think Bellarmine has made the move on Grace, so Grace slips down into P11.
Crazy stuff. Silver is on an absolute charge here, chasing down Buznov. Really pushing now. Grace.
Has Grace gone around the outside? Grace around the outside of Bellarmine up into P10 before we got to the S's there. Unbelievable, Rob. Absolutely crazy. I think that Bellarmine might have a little bit of damage on his car though, and that's how maybe Grace did get around the outside of him, judging by the paintwork of Bellarmine's car. But even so, absolutely fantastic racing in the final lap of this race. I suspect I might have to get onto the leader here because he's getting quite close to the end. We will keep an eye on him because I don't want to miss any action of this midfield pack here as Bellarmine gets better traction. What is that all? Is that Townsend? That is...
Who? Someone has just got absolutely steam through.
I think Townsend went wide.
This wasn't wide. This looked like brake failure.
Well, I caught the back end of it as Townsend went wide. Townsend in P5, Silver up into P4. I'm still on board with the midfield pack, but I kind of need to get on board with the leader because he's just about to come around the final corner to win race 2 here at the Circuit of the Americas, round 4 of the Super Sprint Series. Congratulations to Stefano with Law in P2, Busov I think in P3, Silver in P4, Townsend P5, Milden P6, Crows P7, Bergentin is in P8? Was that Clark? No, sorry, Clark in P8, sorry. Bergentin will grab P9 away from Grace, who gets P10 away from Bellarmine, who gets P11. Wazza now coming across the final... Sorry, just going around the final corner to claim a P12. And then, Olmac a little bit further behind, just coming up to the final corner there. P13.
Absolutely sensational drive from Marwick. That is P1 in the AMS as well, P13 overall. But P1 race winner, Olmac, top of the leaderboard for him.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, P1 for Olmac. Fernker with the P14. Friedman will get P15. Then we got Mikowski, who served his drive-through penalty. Who's that? Is that Robinson? Was that Mikowski on Robinson? Well, it doesn't matter. Mikowski, P16. Robinson gets P2 for the AMS. Descartes gets P3 for the AMS. So congratulations to them as well. And Naisbit will now get P18 with Denbrave P4 for amateurs. Spanu will get P20. Vloten P21. Morley 22. Danny McCutcheon in the end P23 after serving that penalty. So definitely hampered his race, of course. And then Molnix will get P23. Cablo just coming around the last corner now, P24 for him. Trotman P25, and what was his name? Azza, was it? I can't remember now. The guy that I couldn't pronounce anyway, P25.
Sorry, Sean. What was the driver number?
181 Ferrari.
I've lost my sheet. I'm still getting used to the.
It was A, and I thought it was Azza, but it might not be Azza. I can't remember now. I'm not even going to try to say the surname there. But yeah, guys, let's just... it's not classified, but let's give you the provisional race results then. So... thank you, game, for kicking me out. Oh, let me just quickly save the highlights as well, sorry, before we do anything. There we go. Okay, so let's get to the standings now. So, provisional race results then. Stefano wins again in race 2 here with quite, not really a comfortable win in the end, but 2 seconds to Law in P2. Busov gets the final podium position in P3. Then we had Silva in P4, Townsend in P5, Milden in P6, Melvin Crows in P7 with Michael Clark in P8. Then we had Bergertin in P9, Grace in P10, Bellarmine in P12, Wazza in P12, Bellarmine in P11, Olmak in P13, Fernker in P14, Friedman gets P15 with Mikowski in P16, Robinson gets P17, and Olmak gets the win for the amateurs. Sorry guys, I need to get used to this. Robinson gets P2 for the amateurs, and Descartes gets P3 for the amateurs. Then we got Naisbitt P19, Brave in 20, Spanu in P21, Vloten P22, Morley in P23, McCutcheon P24, Molnix in P25, Cablo P26, Trotman in P27, that name now in P28, Rees in P29, Kobe Alerts in P30 with Eaton Hadley in P31, Roos 32, Kalugin in P33, Sproston in P34, Gedman in P35, Townsend in P36, Vortel in P37. In fact, Vortel, Vessels, Smith and Souza with DNFs.
It's Abdelaziz.
Abdelaziz, right, okay. Sorry, Abdelaziz. We'll get used to it one day, I promise. So, yeah, just to confirm it as well, yeah, so there's the amateurs there. So, Olmak, Robinson, Descartes, Brave, Vloten, Morley, Cablo, Abdelaziz, Rees, and Arus rounding up the top 10 for the amateurs.
Yeah, fantastic driving, fantastic event again, once again from FRL. Great to see such a full lobby, of both pro and am drivers for the FRL. There were some questions in chat earlier on. Formula Racing League did reply. Yeah, if you are interested in getting yourselves involved, please do check out FRL on SimGrid for all of their scheduled races. And I think that is about it, Sean.
It is indeed, Rob. So just to say about next week then. So next week's race. Actually, let me get my calendar up. Do apologise.
I'm excited for next week.
So the calendar, for next week we are flying back over to Donington Park, August the 13th. At 7:45 p.m. British summertime. Really looking forward to Donington Park, Rob.
I absolutely adore Donington. It's about 30 minutes up the road from where I am currently sat.
So it's in the Eastern Midlands, isn't it, Donington?
Yeah, just by East Midlands Airport.
Okay. I've never been personally. Always watched it on the TV with the BTCC. Always phenomenal races in them types of cars. I can imagine that it's going to be just the same in these GT3 cars.
Yeah, really looking forward to next week.
Just need to say big congratulations to all the drivers that made it around the circuit. Perhaps not so much for the drivers that didn't, but yeah, obviously congratulations to the podium sitters, I've got to say big thank you to the sponsors and FRL, because without FRL this race wouldn't be going ahead, and also big congratulations to FRL for staging this Mega Grid series as well on PS5. Didn't think it could be done, but server showed to be reasonably smooth in the end. Also, thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everyone in chat as well. Really hope you did enjoy the race there, and thank you for keeping myself and Rob in company as well. And thank you, Rob, as well for doing such an excellent job on comms again.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody in chat, and my extended thanks to the sponsors and the organisers at FRL. Incredible event, and really looking forward forward to next week.
Yes, indeed, Rob, indeed. So yeah, guys, catch us. So obviously next week is Donington, August the 13th, but next on the Formula Racing League _ PS5 channel, we have actually got Taco Tuesday event on Tuesday the 8th, 8:30 p.m. British summertime, and that will be featuring this circuit again, but on a much longer race. I believe it's 90 minutes, I think, this time around. So hope to see you there, guys, but have a great rest of your weekend, and good night, everyone.
Good night.